Hello, and Angelies. Welcome everyone to my Assassin's Creed Underground review. Here's the thing, everybody. This is the Assassin's Creed book for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Here's the thing. I enjoy the shit out of this book. This is what I want from Assassin's Creed books. I want to see a different perspective. I want to see a new thing. I don't want to see it just cut and paste of the video game to the book. It's like the freaking movies, the book, and all that. So you know how you see a movie and they have the book one is just basically the same thing. Assassin's Creed Underground, it's what I love about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. They devote a lot of time developing side characters. Assassin's Creed Underground is about Henry Green's story, about how he's trained at a young age by his father in India, to being trained also by Ethan Frye, the father Jacob and Evie Frye. We get a little bit backstory into him about his beliefs and all that stuff. And you ever wonder why Henry Green was a different character of the assassin? Like, oh, he didn't really do much in Assassin's Creed stuff because he was an assassin in a different sense. Think of the FBI and all that stuff, and they have a mercenary group, or you have different factions that do certain things. You got in the military, you got the people who kill, you got the people who are technicians. Henry Green is more technician, and Ethan Frye, while he's training Henry, he tells Henry's father, "Your son is not a killer." And Henry tries to prove himself to this stuff, and it comes down to a misstep where he makes a mistake in India, and drastically, we learn about, even though they're in the same organization, assassins, like the London assassins and Indian assassins have no... If you're not a warrior, you're fucked. If you fail in the mission, you could be executed, and he failed in that duty. And his own father was going to have him executed. So Henry had to go to London, basically banishment and all this stuff. The father accepted that over execution, obviously. And so you just get a different perspective of what the assassins have a different viewpoint of what it means to be an assassin. Henry Green was like one of the first assassins that wasn't just made just to be a killer. And as Henry Green's mother says, no mother desires to have her son become a killer. We want you to be a great assassin, but Henry Green saw it as both. You have to be a great assassin in order to become a great killer. But so Henry Green as a character, he just basically goes throughout London. We get new side characters with him. When he's infiltrating London and all that stuff, he's trying to. Ethan gives him the job of trying to infiltrate this one Templar side thing so they can find a piece of Eden. Ultimately leads to a great big betrayal, a lot of mistakes on Henry Green's part, where it leads to people he loves dying. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff about Assassin's Creed Underground. We get Kavanaugh, a Templar villain who basically wants to take over control of London over Crawford Starrick. So you got the villain trying to kill the main villain of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the video game. So it was pretty dang awesome. I enjoy a lot of stuff. We get more involvement of Sergeant Abeline or all that stuff, Freddie Abeline, and how he sort of meets the assassins for the first time. How he sort of meets Henry Green, who's known as Ghost throughout this entire book. And we get a little bit perspective of the difference, because the last 80 pages was mostly about Evie becoming Evie's perspective of the video game's perspective, and it's just kind of rushed in at the end. But to me, this was mostly Henry Green's story. We got a little bit of what Sergeant Abeline is, his entire background and all this stuff, how he meets the assassins. You get a little bit of insight to Ethan Frye. We even get a little stuff about this one Assassin's Creed character that was in Assassin's Creed Syndicate for maybe a minute, George, and how the London assassins are basically down to 5 people, which is Ethan Frye, his pal George, and then he brings Henry along from India to England, and then later on, when they're all a little bit more grown up, we get Jacob and Evie Frye. And we also learned how Jacob and Evie, even though we seen them at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we all know their father died, and it's kind of a sore spot, so maybe that's something, but it's very recent. So that's the reason why you always see them mentioning about their father, and how they always snapping each other about, father is dead in Assassin's Creed Syndicates, because it was very recent for them, their father's passing, maybe months or even a year that Ethan Frye died before the events of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the video game, started. So overall, Assassin's Creed Underground gave me a lot of perspectives of side characters, gave me a new perspective of Henry Green. I actually, because of this book, I enjoy Henry Green a lot more as a character. He's a different type of assassin. I enjoy Ethan Frye's character. I enjoy a little bit more what they introduced with Evie, how she always was a curious person, how they were split personality of their father. Their father is the combined version of Jacob and Evie. He's Volton, when he was younger, he was probably more like a ruffian, but when he got older, he was more like Evie Frye and all this. I think he wants to know about the freaking precursor objects, trying to stop everything. He was very wise. So I believe that when Ethan Fry had his children, they were split personalities between Jacob and Evie. And I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed a lot of the side characters that they introduced in this entire book. So Assassin's Creed Underground, like I said, this is the third book I'm reviewing of the Assassin's Creed entire franchise. And even though I read four of them, but this is the third one I have read. This is the review of it, and I will be doing a rankings video. And this will be hard to rank because this was a very good, solid book. I will give it a B plus. If you want to know more about Assassin's Creed lore, the perspectives of the Indian Brotherhood and the London Brotherhood, this book, even though I spoiled mostly everything about this, except a couple of details about what happens at the end, but overall, Assassin's Creed Syndicate Underground was a good book. It's a fun, feel-good time. I enjoyed this book. It was a B plus. I don't know where I'm going to rank it, but I will go back to this book, again, just to see Henry Green perspective. Again, you really don't have to, you could always Wikipedia these books, but I'm letting you know the book versions, were they good or not. This, to me, was a good version of the book. I enjoyed this better than the Renaissance book. I like reading new stuff and new stuff about Assassin's Creed lore. I don't like just to have a video game version of like Ezio Auditore and Renaissance and basically have nearly the exact same plotline as the freaking books. But the same plotline, I don't like the same plotline for a book to be the same plotline as a video game. I like new, interesting stuff. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Underground, kick-ass book, love it. So let me know what y'all think of one. My name is Lee, signing off for everybody. Bye bye.